Lions and lionesses, you are not what you eat. You are what your body can absorb. Those words were spoken to me by the father of functional medicine, Dr. Jeffrey Bland, many, many years ago. And I was frustrated at this point in my career because I would take people through groups and some would get incredible results and some wouldn't. And I assumed like, hey, maybe they're just not following. Maybe they're lying to me. But then I realized I'm a leader, I'm a lion, and I am responsible for my actions. Can I give more? Can I be more? Or is there another strategy? Is there something that I don't know that is limiting myself and clients? And that's what I went out and I was looking for the answers. Because I'd have some people follow the same eating plan, and then later on the same genetic eating plan. So it was specific to them and they would do the same types of workouts. Yet some people just didn't see the results compared to others. And then you could blame genetics, you can blame all kinds of things. You could blame compliance. But what it comes down, there's usually an answer. One, most people just aren't aware of what they're doing, but we can't use that as the only reason. So sometimes people were aware, they were tracking their nutrition, they were sleeping, they were really diligent with tracking and taking action and really reporting it. And they were still not making the type of progress they expected. Now, it is a marathon, it's not a sprint. These things don't happen quickly when you do it to create lasting, sustainable change. So you gotta be patient. But sometimes there's something else. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So many years ago, I heard this phrase, but I had a quarterback. He was in the NFL. He was going to be drafted in the NFL, and he was well recruited, but he was undersized. They believed in the NFL he just wasn't muscular enough, not strong enough to really perform at that level. And he was just naturally like a tall, lanky guy his whole life. But he worked his face off. So he really did it. And this made me look for other answers. And I learned from a strength coach that was a mentor of mine that passed away a couple of years ago, really, really genius man. And what we found was we got to look at not just what you eat, but what your body absorbs. So it's not just eating right, is your body healthy? When you're really healthy and you're really fit, then and only then can you build muscle and burn fat, optimize your body composition. So what happened is we did this test. And I'll get into the details of it. And afterwards, it improved his digestion and his absorption so that he could assimilate, take his food and turn it into fuel, turn it into muscle, help burn fat. We were optimizing health. And as a result, when you optimize health, the body transforms. That's what a healthy body does. And so health is always the priority. So after doing this test, he gained over 30 pounds of lean body mass. His strength went through the roof. He got drafted in the second round, almost the first round. He missed it by 3 spots. And he's still playing to this day. It was a really big deal. It was a great success because I knew what it meant financially for him and his family. And so I was really proud of that I went out of my way to really discover what else there is. And I'm doing this every day now because it really inspired me to say, like, what else can I do? How can I serve more? And so this test is what we call an HCl test. HCl stands for stomach acid. Now, how does digestion work? Well, you might not realize this, but maybe you do. What you eat, you actually become. Like if you don't work out today, there's not a stimulus to build muscle, for instance. Like if you don't do resistance training, you won't build muscle. If you just do cardio, you will not build muscle. Muscle is your metabolism. Muscle needs protein. Most of your body is water, as you know, and then the most solid aspect of the human body is protein, so cell turnover. Snap your fingers, billions of cells die, and billions need to be reproduced if you have the right raw materials. Are you eating enough food? You may be overeating, but are you getting enough nutrients? So a lot of people overeat and are undernourished because they're eating processed foods. So how do we take our food and turn it into tissue? How do we make sure that when cells break down, they can be rebuilt? Because what happens if they don't? Well, your body's like a business. If billions of cells die and then you only make millions, you have debt in the body. Debt is what we call aging. That doesn't mean we have to age. We got to give the body what it needs. We have beliefs about aging. But if we are really healthy and vital, you can find these people. Go online and look for old people that kick ass, and you will see that aging is a state of mind and a way of life. And so most people live the way of aging, but there's the way of vitality. And that's what you're learning here in this program. And so digestion is the best way I can describe it is it has to happen in a certain sequence. So first you chew food. You want to be in a relaxed state when you digest food because then more blood flow goes to the gut. You're producing the proper hormones that rebuild and repair, but we won't get into that right now. You chew the food, it goes down the esophagus, goes into the stomach. Stomach acid should have acid. And the lining of the stomach is rapidly broken down and reproduced. So stomach acid can dissolve a nail. It's HCl, hydrochloric acid. And this should take our food and break it down into like a paste, like a liquid. And then it enters the first part of the small intestine called the duodenum. This is where 90% of nutrient absorption takes place. And it's critical. And what happens is if you're healthy, you're vital, you're strong, everything's going good, you're getting nutrients, those particles are broken down small enough to be absorbed across the line of the small intestine into the bloodstream to be carried out to perform their function for fuel, for protein synthesis, that's generation, or whatever. And so what we got to do is make sure that we have enough stomach acid. So the analogy I would use is firecrackers. I don't know if you ever saw the firecrackers, they're all attached and you light the wick and then the first one goes off, then that causes the second one to go off all the way down. It's like da-da-da-da-da. That's how digestion works. If the first part doesn't go, then the second part is compromised. It doesn't work as well. So you got to have a sequence. And the first thing is to be relaxed, to eat mindfully. I'm going to do another audio on this, to teaching you mindful eating. But today, this is a really cool thing. I'm going to teach you an exact strategy to test this at home. Is your stomach acid sufficient and how do you correct it? That's what you're going to learn here. So the stomach acid is often low in people because a lot of times they're not getting enough of the raw materials to make stomach acid, which are certain B vitamins. I won't go into that right now, but I want you to understand how vital this is. If your food isn't broken down enough and it enters the first part of the small intestine, it would be a little jagged, and that can affect this very thin barrier of your small intestine. And then that jag can injure it. And so that doesn't occur, what happens is the body produces mucus. Snot, basically. Yes, snot. That's what my mom called it. And it covers it to protect it. The problem is, while it's protected, your absorption is impaired. You can't absorb the nutrients. And so you may be eating good foods, but they're not being absorbed and assimilated. Now, how do we fix this? Well, we want to make sure there's many things, but the most important thing is what we call an HCl test. I'm going to send you a link that explains all this, but I want you to listen to it right now and really learn this, because this is how you take charge of your bodies, by becoming a student and really learn this. And not just listen to me, but doing it for yourself. I'm not a dictator. I'm a guide. I'm a coach. And I don't want you to rely on me. I want you to become your own best personal trainer. Make sense? So this is what you do. There's capsules that are digestive enzymes, and they have something called betaine HCl in it, and that mimics stomach acid. So the brand that we use for the testing most is the one I learned from, is a company called Designs for Health, Digestzymes. And so it's really easy to find. It's on Amazon now, so it's really simple. Now, I'm basing these instructions off those exact capsules. So if you don't have those, we'll have to look at the label and make sure the one you have has the same ingredients. We're looking at betaine HCl and something called pepsin, which is an enzyme that breaks down protein into amino acids. Now, what you want to do is during your solid food meals, don't do this with shakes or snacks. Your body doesn't know the difference between a shake or snack, but when you're eating a solid food meal, not a smoothie or anything like that, eat your food and take a capsule of these digestzymes, and then wait 15 minutes and see if you notice anything. If you feel like a burning, it's not severe, so don't be scared, or a bloating effect that you don't normally feel, if that's common for you, then don't worry about that. You'll feel burning. And then what happens is that means you have enough stomach acid. So I would do that 3 times to see if you get the same result. Just don't go by one, because there could be other variables, other factors. So say you don't feel anything. The next time you eat a solid food meal, go up to 2 capsules and see if you feel anything. If not, then your next solid food, go up to 3. Work your way up to 6 if you don't feel anything. If you get to 6 and you don't feel anything, then that means you have really low stomach acid, and continue at 6 capsules per solid food meal. And then talk to me and see if there's anything else, and because there could be other things that we can look at. But this is the simplest way to assess this yourself at home. And so you get up to 6, that means, okay, keep it 6. But let's say you felt burning and discomfort at 4 capsules of a solid food meal. Then what you want to do, you're going to take 3 capsules at every meal, every solid food meal, these digestions, to assist in digestion. And that's enough to coax your body's own stomach acid. And when that occurs, there'll be a point where if it's not your way of your life, like you have a really stressful life, you may need to take that for a very long time. But if you correct these things and you do the mental conditioning, you give your body the rest it needs, you get the hydration, you get the protein, you get all these things, then what happens, you'll start to feel it at 3 capsules. Then you go down to 2 capsules and you keep at it until you feel that discomfort at 2. That means your body's producing enough stomach acid, so go down to 1. And then keep doing all this stuff, keep taking the 1 capsule, and then there'll be a point where you feel it at 1 capsule, and then boom, you have restored your stomach acid, you have improved your digestion, and when you improve digestion and absorption, you improve your body's ability to break down and rebuild itself. That's what we call vitality. So that is the stomach acid test. Now, the instructions are pretty simple, but I'm going to send you the link along with this message. Now, if you have questions on this, let me know. But really, what I want to do, everything you need is in that article. It explains exactly how to do it, and then pick up those digestions. If you don't want to do this, just keep it in your back pocket and do it later. All right, my friends, these are little things that make a big difference. Just remember, there is no magic in this. The magic is in doing the little things consistently and relentlessly every day that leads to massive results over time.
You tap into the real you, but you have to retrain yourself. The way you retrain yourself is you wake your ass up in the morning and you say, I am here for a reason and a purpose. And it's bigger than my moods. It's bigger than the difficulties of the day. I am here to live like a lion, not the fear of a lamb.